Welcome back to the show. I'm Emily.
And I'm Nick. Today we're tackling a question a lot of English learners struggle with. How do you practice speaking if you have no one to talk to?
Exactly. Maybe you live in a place where no one speaks English, or your friends and family aren't interested in practicing. That doesn't mean you can't improve your speaking skills.
Right. The first strategy is shadowing, listening to a native speaker and immediately repeating what they say, matching their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. You can use podcasts, YouTube videos, or even movies for this.
And the key here is not just repeating the words, but copying how they say them. This helps your mouth and brain get used to forming sentences the way native speakers do.
Another method is thinking in English. Throughout your day, try narrating what you're doing in English, even in your head. For example, I'm making coffee right now, or I need to finish this report by 3 p.m.
Yes, and you can even turn this into a kind of mini self-dialogue. Ask yourself questions and answer them. It may feel a bit silly at first, but it's a powerful way to keep your brain in English mode.
You can also record yourself speaking. Choose a topic, set a timer for 1 or 2 minutes, and just talk. Don't stop to overthink grammar or vocabulary. The goal is to keep speaking. Then, listen back and notice areas you can improve, like pronunciation or sentence flow.
And if you want to push it further, compare your recording to a native speaker talking about the same topic. You can find examples on YouTube or in podcasts. Listen for differences in pacing, word choice, and intonation, then try again.
There's also the method of using conversation prompts. Even if there's no partner, you can take a list of questions, like, what's your favorite childhood memory, or describe your ideal vacation, and answer them out loud. This simulates the kind of topics that come up in real conversations.
Exactly. And you can make it more realistic by timing yourself, or pretending you're in a live interview. It helps build the skill of thinking and speaking at the same time, without translating in your head.
Another great strategy is shadowing. That's when you listen to a short clip of a native speaker and try to repeat exactly what they say at the same time as they say it, matching their pronunciation, rhythm, and stress. It's like singing along to a song, but with spoken English.
Yes. And if it feels too fast at first, you can slow the audio down using apps or YouTube settings. The goal is not just to understand the words, but to feel how the sentences flow naturally.
You can also combine shadowing with paraphrasing. First, shadow the exact words. Then, pause the audio and explain what they said in your own words. That forces you to process the meaning while practicing fluency.
And here's a bonus tip. Treat your surroundings like your conversation partner. Narrate what you're doing out loud in English. I'm making coffee, now I'm checking my emails, I'm waiting for the bus. It keeps your brain in English mode, even if no one's around.
Another thing you can do is record yourself while you're speaking. It might feel a bit awkward at first, but when you listen back, you'll notice things you didn't catch in the moment, like where you pause too much, or where your pronunciation could be smoother.
Exactly. And don't just record once and stop. Make it a routine, maybe 5 minutes every day. Over time, you'll have an audio diary of your progress, and you'll be able to hear how much more natural and confident you've become.
Plus, you can compare your recordings to native examples. Play them side by side and ask yourself, where do I sound different? Is it the intonation, the stress, or the speed? That awareness is key to improvement.
And remember, your phone is your best speaking partner if you use it creatively. Voice messages to yourself, speech-to-text apps to check clarity, or even practicing with AI voice tools can give you real-time feedback.
Another great tip is shadowing. That's when you listen to a short audio clip from a native speaker and repeat it immediately, trying to match their pronunciation, rhythm, and emotion as closely as possible.
Right, and you don't have to start with long or complicated sentences. Even short phrases like, "That sounds great," or "I can't wait to see you," can help you get used to speaking with more natural flow.
And if you want to take shadowing up a notch, record yourself doing it, then play both the original and your version back to back. You'll be amazed at how quickly you can adjust small details like stress and pitch.
The best part? You can do this anywhere, while cooking, walking, or even waiting for the bus. The key is to make speaking practice part of your daily life, not just something you do once in a while.
Another method I love is using a prompt and respond system. You can write down random prompts on slips of paper, things like, describe your favorite holiday, or explain how to make coffee, and then challenge yourself to respond out loud for 1 to 2 minutes without stopping.
Yes. And if you get stuck, don't freeze, just use fillers like, well, let me think, or that's a good question, to keep your speech flowing. The goal is to train your brain to keep going, even when you're searching for the right word.
You can also practice with virtual conversation partners. There are apps and AI tools that simulate a real chat, and while it's not the same as speaking with a human, it still helps you practice speed, vocabulary recall, and confidence.
Exactly. And remember, consistency beats intensity here. It's better to practice speaking for 10 minutes every day than to do a 1-hour session once a week. Your speaking muscles need regular exercise to grow.
Another fun approach is role-playing. Pretend you're in different real-life situations, like ordering food, making a phone call, or asking for directions. You can switch roles between being yourself and being the other person, which helps you anticipate possible responses.
Right, and you can take it a step further by recording those role plays. Listening back will help you notice patterns in your intonation, where you pause too much, or words you tend to repeat.
And here's a tip for variety: don't always practice the same scenarios. Challenge yourself with unusual topics, like explaining a science fact, describing a movie plot, or giving advice on a hobby you don't know much about. That forces your brain to work with limited vocabulary and still keep talking.
It's like mental gymnastics for your English. The more variety you give yourself, the more adaptable and confident you'll become in real conversations.
Another powerful method is shadowing. You find a video or audio of a native speaker, play it, and repeat what they say in real time, matching their speed, intonation, and rhythm as closely as possible. It feels challenging at first, but it's one of the fastest ways to make your speech sound natural.
Yes, and the key with shadowing is consistency. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a big difference over a few weeks. Plus, you can pick materials you enjoy, movies, TED Talks, or even interviews with your favorite celebrities.
And don't forget to focus on the music of English, the way voices rise and fall. You're not just copying words, you're copying the melody of the language. That's what makes you sound fluent rather than robotic.
Exactly. And once you get used to it, you can start mixing shadowing with your own ideas. For example, pause the video and improvise your own sentence using the same rhythm and tone you just heard. That's where you turn passive listening into active speaking practice.
Another tip if you don't have a partner is to narrate your actions out loud in English. For example, while cooking you could say, "I'm chopping the onions now, next, I'll fry them until they're golden brown." It may feel silly at first, but it forces you to think and speak in English in real time.
Right, and you can take it a step further by adding thoughts and feelings. Instead of just saying what you're doing, you could add, "I hope this tastes good. I think I added too much salt." That makes your speaking practice more natural and conversational.
And if you're shy about speaking out loud because of people around you, whisper practice works too. The important part is keeping your brain engaged in forming English sentences without translating from your native language.
Exactly. Over time, you'll notice that your speaking speed and confidence increase, even without another person to talk to.
Another method I like is recording yourself speaking on a topic for 1 or 2 minutes. Pick something simple like, "My plans for the weekend," or "My favorite childhood memory." Don't stop or overthink, just keep talking. Later, listen to the recording and notice if there are pauses, filler words, or pronunciation issues.
Yes. And the great thing about recording yourself is that you can track your progress over time. When you compare today's recording with one from a month ago, you'll hear the improvement, which is super motivating.
Plus, you can use your phone's voice typing feature. Speak into it and see if the text matches what you intended to say. If the phone gets the words wrong, that's a sign you may need to work on pronunciation or clarity.
That's such a simple but effective hack. And remember, even if you're practicing alone, the key is to stay consistent and make it fun. You're building fluency one small step at a time.
Another powerful strategy is to shadow real-life English conversations. Choose a podcast, TV show, or YouTube video where people speak naturally, then repeat after them as closely as possible, matching their speed, rhythm, and even emotion.
Right, and don't be afraid to exaggerate at first. If you push yourself to mimic native speakers' intonation and energy, your own speaking will start to sound more alive and confident.
You can also turn reading into speaking practice. Grab an article or short story in English, read it aloud, and focus on making it sound natural, not robotic. Pay attention to pauses, stress on key words, and how sentences flow together.
Exactly. And if you want to push this further, you could even rewrite the text in your own words and speak it again. That way, you're not just copying, you're practicing thinking and expressing ideas in English.
Another tip is to record yourself regularly. It might feel awkward at first, but when you listen back, you'll notice patterns. Maybe you speak too fast, or your pronunciation isn't clear on certain sounds.
Yes. And once you know those weak spots, you can target them. For example, if you always drop the S at the end of words like works or likes, you can make a conscious effort to practice and fix that.
You can even turn it into a progress tracker. Record yourself doing the same speaking task once a week, like describing your day or summarizing a news story, and after a month, compare the recordings.
That's such a motivating way to see improvement. Even if your vocabulary doesn't change much, you'll probably hear smoother sentences, better rhythm, and fewer long pauses.
And remember, practicing alone doesn't mean you're practicing in isolation. You're building the skills so that when you do have a chance to speak with someone, you'll feel ready and confident.
Exactly. The more you work on your pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence in private, the more natural it will be in real conversations. So, make it a habit, keep it consistent, and celebrate small wins along the way.
Alright, that's it for today's episode. Keep speaking, keep improving, and most importantly, enjoy the journey.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.